Alright, so let me start by asking, what does pain mean to you? Not just the stubbing your toe kind of pain, but that deep, heavy pain that makes you question everything. You see, for the longest time I thought pain was just punishment, Like, you did wrong, so here's a dose of reality to set you straight. But now I see it's so much more than that. Pain doesn't break you. The world tells you it does, but it doesn't. It actually opens you up like a wound that lets light in. There's this scripture, 2 Corinthians 1:3-4. It goes, "Praise be to the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can comfort those in any trouble." That hit me differently after everything I've been through. What if pain wasn't just about you? Yeah, what if it's about connecting? What if it's about learning how to sit with someone else in the darkness and saying, "Hey, I've been here too, and you're not alone." I have lived that. I've seen people use their pain not as something to hide from, but as fuel. I have seen people create entire bridges out of their brokenness. I mean, look at me. I started writing lyrics when I was, 15? Back then, writing was the only way I could make sense of what I was feeling. Like, I didn't know how to talk about the things that haunted me. But songwriting, it became my way of speaking. I poured every drop of pain into my music. And you know what? That's how I found my connection to people. Strangers would come up and tell me, "Thank you for saying what I couldn't." It's wild, right? I think about people I've met. Folks who've been brought to their knees by life. They didn't just survive, they transformed. There's this one guy, he straight up changed his life after years of addiction. He talks now about those dark nights he went through, and you'd think they would just be his regrets, right? But no, he uses those nights to write poetry. He said something once that stuck with me. He said, "My scars are proof that healing is real." How powerful is that? So, when I talk about pain, it's not just about the suffering. It's about what the suffering can build. It's about self-reflection. You find pieces of God in the hardest moments because you're stripped of all the noise. And in that stripped silence, what's left is real faith, real creativity, real connection. I guess what I'm saying is, pain, it's not the enemy. Silence is. The kind of silence where you let your pain sit in the dark corners without light. And art, whether it's writing, painting, singing, or just expressing, man, is like flipping on the light switch in those corners. You take the pain and you say, "You're not gonna own me." It's not perfect, it's not always pretty, but it's real. So, if you're in pain right now, I want you to ask yourself, what can this teach me? How can this help someone else? Because when you connect, when you turn your scars into bridges, that's where the purpose is found. You ever look at these younger generations and just think, wow, they see the world so much clearer than we ever did? Like, there's no fluff with them, no hesitation. They call things out as they see them, whether it's injustice, climate change, or their own mental health. And the thing is, they're not just saying, "Fix it." They're saying, "We'll fix it, with or without you." Take mental health, for example. For decades, it was this unspoken, swept under the rug topic. But these kids, they talk about it like it matters. Because it does. They're telling us how they feel, and they're daring us to listen. And you know what they're asking for? Schools that don't just give them tests, but teach them how to process, to heal, to thrive. I mean, imagine a class for mindfulness sitting next to algebra. Man, wouldn't that shift the game? And then there's their creativity, their art, their fire. You ever see a teenager with a notebook or a microphone or a paintbrush? That's raw potential right there. It's freedom. It's a voice that says, "I am here and I've got something to say." You give them a safe space, just a little room to express without judgment, and you'll watch them bloom into something extraordinary. That's what we're missing sometimes, isn't it? Creating spaces where kids don't feel boxed in, where they're not just consumers of a culture, but creators of it. I think about this kid I met a while back. Man, she wrote this spoken word piece about what it's like to grow up in a neighborhood that feels forgotten. She said, "I don't see my face in the leaders around me, but in my dreams, I lead." Powerful, right? She's not waiting for permission to lead. She's ready. She's moving. And all we had to do was show up, listen, and give her the stage. And that's what we gotta do, man. It's not about micromanaging their future or caging their ideas. It's about partnering with them, walking alongside them, being that community that says, yeah, we see you, we believe in you. And we're here to help amplify whatever you're building. Alright, let's talk leadership, but not the kind that sits on a throne and expects to be served. Nah, I'm talking about servant leadership, the kind that stoops down, washes feet, and gets its hands dirty. You see, this isn't just some feel-good idea, it's rooted in scripture. You know Galatians 6:2? It says, "Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ." Man, what a call. It's not about climbing ladders, it's about kneeling to lift somebody else up. Now, here's the thing. Leadership isn't a spotlight. It's a mirror. It reflects how much we're willing to serve, to be accountable, and to be humble. True leaders amplify others. They don't overshadow them. I mean, think about it. How often do we look to someone in charge for answers, but all we find is ego, defensiveness, or distance? Real leadership doesn't build walls, it builds bridges. And humility, man. That's the foundation. I remember this one time in my journey where I thought leadership was showing strength, being untouchable. But the truth is, nobody connects with perfection. They connect with vulnerability. They connect with someone who admits, yeah, I've stumbled too. And when we own those stumbles, that's when we empower others to say, you know what, me too, but I'm still standing. That's what servant leadership is. It's saying, I'm here to walk with you, not ahead of you. You see, communities thrive when everyone shares the weight. We ain't just out here trying to survive in silos. We're meant to live interconnected, interwoven. Helping someone else doesn't diminish you. It multiplies strengths across the whole. It's like a chain. Every link matters. And when one breaks, the others step in to hold it together. That's collective responsibility, and honestly, that's what we've lost sight of sometimes. Let me tell you something personal. Every time I felt lost, every time I thought I couldn't move forward, someone showed up. Maybe they didn't have the answers, but they had presence. They reminded me I wasn't alone. And that reminder, it's priceless. That's what carrying each other's burdens looks like. It doesn't mean fixing everything for someone. It means showing up, standing firm with them in the chaos, and saying, we'll figure this out together. But here's where the challenge lies. It's easy to look the other way, you know? To say, that's not my fight, not my weight. But unity, real unity, comes when we reject isolation and step into the shared struggle. When we say, what's burdening you affects me too. Whether it's about mental health, injustice, or even just life knocking us down, it's all interconnected. And when we serve one another, we're not just fulfilling a duty, we're stepping into something sacred. So where do we go from here? It starts with small actions, checking in with someone, lending a hand, even just listening without judgment. It starts with recognizing that leadership isn't about being above someone. It's about lifting as you climb. Maybe that's our challenge, our mission, to be leaders who serve, who connect, and who remind each other of the light we carry. Let's commit to this, to a life of service, of authenticity, of walking alongside each other. Because when we do that, we don't just heal individuals, we heal communities, And healing communities, it changes the world. So today, let's choose to be the kind of leaders who lead with love, the kind of communities that share the load, and the kind of people who remind each other that we're never, ever alone. And that's all for today, my friends. Let's carry this with us. Let's be better together. Until next time, keep shining. You've got this.